Teresa is inspiring. She always will be, and she always was an inspiration.
She was the light of my life. She was absolutely everything to me, and she was just absolutely the most incredible person that helped everybody, loved everybody.
Besides being a pretty woman, a beautiful woman, she was very agile and energetic.
When she got a hold of an audience, when she got a hold of a crowd, they understood her method, they understood what she was trying to get out there, and they understood her heart.
She seemed ageless. She just kept going. The woman was like a machine. She never stopped.
She was brilliant, she was inspirational, she had a huge heart. She had a way of, when she talked to you, you were the only one in the room, and she made you feel really important.
She's the most amazing woman I've ever met.
When Teresa was 8 years old, her mother passed away from brain cancer, and she had a sister and a brother younger than her. She was left with a dad who had to work a full-time job at Caterpillar, and he was in dire straits trying to get over the death of his beloved wife, and Teresa, being the oldest daughter, did everything she could to help out.
My sister at age 5 took me in the hallway, and we prayed that our mom, who was dying, would get up and walk. She was paralyzed, and we were traumatized that she wasn't walking. That actually set the stage, because as we sat there and our prayers were answered, I realized that my sister was with me through an entire lifetime. Through all of the good times and bad times, I've only had to make a phone call, and she's always been there. And I always say this is where she developed the yes, you can.
She got honors in high school and college, and she was in charge of many programs involved with cheerleading. After she graduated high school, she had a cheerleading group that she took around the Midwest to do their competitions, and that probably got her going on teaching girls how to be fit and how to do the routines and how to move their bodies properly. And being that she was an exercise physiology major, it gave her the impetus to think of the muscles and think of movement, and putting that all together started a transition at that point. And then as she got into the modeling industry, she took it to them. And they had never seen anything like it in the modeling industry. They just loved the fact that Teresa could take a model that had a shoot in 2 days, and this girl might have been out partying and put on a little bit of pudge here and there, and within 2 days Teresa knew how to take it off.
She gave me a lot of advice on how to do certain poses in a way that I wouldn't hurt my body, and how to stay fit without starving myself.
I think that's when the spark started about, doing her own routine and perfecting it.
Ready, begin. Lunge, up. 2, keep that back leg straight. 3, up. 4, up.
Tapp evolved in the earlier years of our relationship. She would start doing these exercises, and I would watch from the window, and she would be doing something a little different or a little strange. She would be holding her thumb in a funny position, or she would twist her knees and turn them out towards her small toe, and then she would do these scrunches with her neck.
Try to keep those thumbs back, keep the fingers stretched.
She breathed Tapp. She would come up with movements. She would dream about movements. When she would go off on the weekend to her property, she would lay in the grass and practice movements, and it was never a chore. This just was her life.
After she filmed her first video, she had gotten some publicity, and it took off quite rapidly. Within a year or two, she was on a lot of TV stations. Newspapers were writing stories on what she had created and how unique it was. Within 3-4 years, she was traveling the country and having events. One event in Cleveland, she had 2,000 people. She's had people from probably 100 different countries buy her videos or DVDs or now downloads. And she loved every minute of it. She wasn't trying to build her business. She just let the business go in the direction that it was going naturally. She was not ever, this is something I truly loved about her, she was not money motivated. She wasn't trying to create an empire of Tapp videos to make money. She was doing it to help people.
I saw in one of the grocery stores, there was a Women's World magazine, and on it said, lose 2 sizes in 4 weeks with the incredible inch-loss fat-burning workout. And I was like, eyeball roll. That was the workout for that week.
I was invited to go up to New York, and I was on the front cover of Women's World, and it was a huge success. There was a lot of response to it.
And I started to read it, and they all say the same thing, walk off 30 pounds in a week, all this crazy stuff, but there was something in it. And Teresa was quoted, and she was saying things that nobody was talking about at the time. She was talking about how her workout is very lymphatic. So I couldn't wait. I ran on and I ordered everything. So the big box of video shows up, and I'm like, okay, I put it in, and there was just something about it. I just knew I could put that in my body, and I knew there is something different about this workout that I've never seen before.
She was always so excited that this was going to go out to the masses and that they would be able to grasp it, take it, and it would start to heal their body. She could go from sun up to sundown, working out, doing the seminars, speaking to thousands of people. She had to do book tours when she was, at her prime. She was going from city to city, speaking engagements, teaching people, working with people, and she had a magnetic energy about her. She could get on stage or just talk in front of a few people, and everybody was reeled in. It was a gift.
She was gaining on, her branding, her brand. A lot of people would latch, and, just because she was famous. Our friendship, it was a way for her to get away from constantly it being about Tapp and the grind. And it was a way for her to come over and be friends and couples together. We went whitewater rafting together, did the wine country, went skiing out in Tahoe. We're on this black run. I've never been on a black run before in my life. And the entire time I was going down, terrified, she would ski down, whip around, look at me and go, "You've got this, you can do this, yes you can," in her typical, fashion. And I got down that mountain, and I was so elated that I did it. I told her I'm never doing it again, but I did it. And off we went to get hot toddies.
I watched her on weekends read testimonials. Some of these testimonials would be 3 or 4 pages long on these women who did her workout for a week or 2 or a month or 2, and it actually totally improved their lives in so many different ways. Each one was different. Each one had a different story, and I would see tears coming out of Teresa's eyes as she read some of these. And then she would show them to me, and I would read them, and I was like, God, this is just amazing stuff. Amazing, amazing stuff.
I had got injured so badly. I had 2 back surgeries, and they were such major surgeries that I had to learn how to walk again, put on my clothes again, everything. The doctors had told me, well, they did everything they could. She totally transformed my life. I would have probably been crippled the rest of my life. I never would have dreamed that at 72 years old, I am teaching 4 classes a week. I'm stronger than I've ever been.
The workout has helped me with my osteoporosis, because before I was all hunched over like this, and now I'm straight, and I'm able to hold my body erect. And it just makes you feel really good.
I was diagnosed with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, a bad heart. At 16 years old, I was carrying around nitroglycerin pills. And a couple years later, after continuing through this process, I met Teresa, and she did a couple exercises with me, and she's talking to me, and she said, "You seem extremely healthy. I don't see how you could have a heart issue. Do these movements for me." And she had me do a couple of her signature moves, and I did a couple rib lifts and some breathing exercises with her, and was holding my arms in the fashion that she told me to, pointing my thumbs down, breathing, and I felt a big pop in my chest. And from that point forward, I never had that pain again. And it ended up being connective tissue, fascial tissue interweaved throughout the ribs.
She taught me her method of movement, and it was absolutely brilliant and changed my body, helped me change my life, and in doing so gave me my passion and allowed me to really tap into my gifts. And my gifts were sharing her gifts.
I had cancer, chronic fatigue, and I was debilitated. It was only because of her time that she gave me and the system Tapp that I am still able to work a normal job, that I am able to be a great mom, a good daughter. I can move, I feel good.
To see how hard she pushed through those tough times when her health finally started failing her, she wouldn't give up. And the admiration I gained from watching her fight through some terrible times and just excruciating situations, I'll never forget it. And the impact it had on me, even till the very end, she remained positive.
We had just seen her the day before at the ranch, and she was talking, walking, everything. We were quite shocked because she couldn't talk anymore. And as we helped Mark take her to the hospital and rush her out, he just totally collapsed. And it was like a moment. You knew she was leaving you, but you didn't want to believe it.
You see the physical parts of her deteriorating. You see the monitors. You know that the monitors are showing that she's going, okay? And yet you see her will that wants to stay. And it was so conflicted to watch that, because you wanted her to live so badly, but you didn't. You knew that this was out of your hands, this was in God's hands, and God was bringing her home. You knew that.
We were up at Watermark, and she deteriorated quickly. I got her to the emergency room as quickly as I could, and they put her in and basically said that she's not going to reverse this. And within 6 days, she passed.
We lost somebody great. Sorry. Teresa meant everything to so many people. And they took it extremely personally because they felt like they knew her, because that's what she gave to them, was herself. Losing her was a horrible tragedy, and she can't be replaced. 20, 50, 100 people cannot replace Teresa.
She impacted so many people, not only trainers, not only students, but like me, a kid. And just being around her was, I don't know, she could change the atmosphere by walking into a room. And I always got excited when I saw her. And I'll never forget her. I'll never forget her.
This is her necklace I had the Christmas before she died. And, you know, I just try to live my life even better. I repeat, yes you can. I've been T-tapping a whole lot more now at home.
She gave us so many tools, and you do come out the other end. And so for that, I am forever grateful.
All of her students, I like to call them students because that's what they were. All they had to do was talk to Teresa for 10 minutes, and they had a goal, they had a path. And they succeeded in that path thousands of times, and we will continue that.
We are taking everything she gave us. She poured into all of us, and we're taking that and we're running with it, just like she would want us to do. She wouldn't want us to stop. And T-Tapp is going to move forward. It's not going to stop. And we're here to stay.
That's her legacy, the fact that she created something so unique and so powerful that it's going to make everybody better that tries it.
Teresa was love.
Teresa was marvelous, and she'll always be marvelous to me.
Teresa was a friend.
Teresa is inspiring.
Teresa is energy, and the tens of thousands of people that she touched around this earth will never forget that and never forget her.
Teresa was absolutely amazing.